Yes. Happy New Year! My name is Daniel and welcome to the message today. And welcome to the very first episode of Series 3. Man, time flies when you have fun. Since it's the new year, we thought we could look at the topic of goals and aspirations. This week, we have my band Brightline as our special guests, and our very own Emma Owen will be sharing her story.
Did you have a great Christmas? I do hope so. My name is Emma, and as usual, if you have any questions from this session, why don't you write them down and talk in your group with your teachers afterwards. If you're personally struggling with anything we talk about, please do think of an adult that you trust that you can talk to ASAP. This might be a parent or guardian, a youth leader, or a member of staff at your school.
New Year's Eve has always been a time to reflect on the past, but more importantly, to plan for the future.
We had a look into what sort of resolutions you guys might make, and this was the top 5. Number 1, learn to love yourself. Number 2, learn a new skill. Number 3, get healthy and fit. And number 4, be present. Don't live behind that phone or games console. And then finally, number 5, get a job in order to make your own money. Sounds like a plan to me.
So let me ask you a question. Did you make any resolutions? I always try to make a bit of a resolution, and this year I want to read a different book every month. Let's start today with a spoken word called Dreams by Mark J. the Poet.
Let's play a game. I say an abbreviation. You imagine its meaning or purpose. DVR, DVD. GMC, CD, MP4, MP3, HSPD, PhD, BA, EMT, OMG. How about these? JAY, JOE, JOHN, JANE, MARK, KATE, DAVE. See, all too often the issue is not failing to see meaning and purpose around me. It's failing to see the dream inside the person the mirror is reflecting. I'm accepting the dream in someone else, but accepting the dream inside myself. I could see purpose in abbreviations, cars, buildings, and trees, but what is that worth if I can't see it in me? Perhaps you can relate with these opening lines, like you're the first to arrive at Disneyland, but end up feeling dizzy and last in line. See, once these lies were mine, I had a dream was my line. Then the pleasure was mine when hope whispered to me, waking me out of my sleep, untying the knot that came before the to be. Untying the NOT that came before the to be. I have a tip for you. Don't dream to be someone. Dream because you are someone. Your dream doesn't make you significant, rather you give significance to your dream. Now take off the labels and you realize the whole time you were able. Because labels are fables, nothing but stickers with ink. You could choose to dream or not to dream, but one thing I know for sure is that she who was chosen to dream about nothing has always achieved it. He who chooses to dream about nothing will always achieve it. So let it go. Unfreeze your dream. It's always about building something and someone else, removing the limit. No one ever built a skyscraper so just one person can visit. Stop waiting for followers. This isn't Instagram. Dreamers don't wait for an audience. They create one, and they don't really lose because they create one. WON. To dream or not to dream? That's the question. To dream. It's my suggestion.
So, what is your understanding to what goals and aspirations are? Why don't you pause and discuss? Let's see what our students around the UK had to say.
Goals and aspirations, basically what you want to do in life, what you hope to achieve by a certain age.
I would say to have a goal or an aspiration is kind of an idea of something that you want to achieve in the future.
When you're of age, you kind of start planning out your life, so you give yourself targets to work towards.
Something you want to strive towards, something to get up in the morning and just go, I'll do that today, or I want to do that.
I think they mean like setting targets for yourself and having something to work towards and look forward to.
Usually very positive, one thing that's going to take maybe a lot of work, but you know you can get there in the end.
Thanks guys, we love hearing your insight on these episodes each week. Up Up next to share their thoughts on today's topic, from the Message Trust, it's Bright Line.
Yo, what's happening? So this is Brightline. This is my band. It's great to be hanging out with you guys. I'm Daniel, as you know. We got Jacob and we got Lucy as well. And if you want to find out more about what Brightline does, make sure you check us out on our socials at Brightline Band. And you can listen to our music on Spotify and you can check our videos on YouTube. So this is about goals and aspirations. Now, Lucy, give us a bit of a definition. What are goals and aspirations?
David Kirkcaldy describes a goal as the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aim or desired result, whereas an aspiration is a hope or ambition of achieving something. Goals are objective, measurable, a tangible target to shoot for. However, an aspiration is similar in that it describes a desired future state.
I've loved music ever since I can remember. When I was a kid, my dad used to be in bands, and that's actually how my parents met. So I grew up surrounded by music my whole life. And when I got a bit older, I remember going to church. I'd see my dad playing guitar, he'd play bass at the front, thinking, I want to be like that. So as soon as I got the chance to get guitar lessons myself in school, I jumped at that opportunity. Now, when I was a kid, I dreamed of being like my dad in bands, touring the world, but these things don't just happen overnight. I had to practice, I had to learn. Yes, having lessons helped me, but relying just on those didn't get me where I am today. I trained, I practiced. I used to play guitar for like 4 or 5 hours every single day. I'd play the same song again and again and again until I get it absolutely perfect, and then I'll just move on to the next one and keep practicing. Because I knew where I wanted to be, and I knew that even if getting there wasn't easy, if I stuck through it and I persevered, that eventually I would get there. And like Daniel said in the beginning, I'm part of a band called Brightline now. We get to tour all over the world. We've been all across Europe, we've been to Africa, we've been all across the UK, playing music together, but not just that. I get to share the love of Jesus with every single person that we meet, and it's absolutely amazing.
Top-level athletes, pop stars, actors, successful business people and achievers in all fields set goals in life. Setting goals give you long-term vision and short-term motivation. It focuses your understanding of knowledge and helps you to organise your time and your resources so that you can make the most of your life.
By setting sharp, clearly defined goals, you can measure and take pride in the achievement of those goals, and you'll see forward progress in what you might previously have seen as pointless grind. You will also raise your self-confidence as you recognize your own ability and competence in achieving the goals that you have set.
Start the process of setting goals by looking at your big lifetime goals. Then work on the things that you can do in, say, the next 5 years, the next year, next month, next week, and today, to start moving towards them. This may include what career you want to follow. Do you need to go to university? If so, get working on your GCSEs now. It could be a physical goal of running a marathon. Start getting fit first, work towards that 5K, and then you might work up from there. Or maybe you have family goals. Do you want to get married, have kids one day? Maybe start working on your relationships now, showing love, respect, or even start saving for that house once you get a job. The list goes on.
We asked our students what their biggest goals were in life. Let's hear their response.
Ooh, my biggest goal in life. I just want to be settled. I want to have my own house, my own career, and a nice, happy family. That's my biggest goal.
Well, I'm actually just trying to get through the day at the moment. I think with this year, you just need to get through one day at a time.
To be happy. I don't know.
What world peace possible?
My target is to become a police officer. As when I was younger, I struggled with injustice and I just thought it is what I need. A police officer is what I need to do.
To succeed, whatever that may mean. Like, I don't want to be a failure, but yeah, just to succeed.
The biggest goal in my life would be to have a family Yeah, so I would be a mum and I could have kids. That would be kind of the biggest life goal for me. I think that would be the most fulfilling. My goal in life is just to be happy. I feel that's quite basic, but yeah, like just be happy. I'd love to be successful, I'm not gonna lie. Like I do see myself, you know, getting to a place, being a successful boss woman, and being happy. But I also do want a family as well. One day I want to settle down, so hopefully I can have it all. I'll see.
I really want to be a tattoo artist. So that's like a goal, I guess.
Well, if in the future space travel, like, you know, to the moon, I'd like to go to the moon, you know. See the stars, be a mongo.
I want to be a solicitor and I want to have my own firm. But in order to do that, I need to get through my degree, which means I need to get through my assignment, which is due today. So today. According to the University of Scranton, a whopping 92% of people in America who set New Year's goals never actually achieved them. Failing to meet goals is pretty much frustrating and can set you back. This year, my goal is to do more fitness. Make sure you aim to achieve something that is achievable.
I don't know about you guys, but during lockdowns 1 and 2, I definitely put on some weight. I wasn't getting enough exercise and I was eating too much rubbish. I'm pretty sure I'm not on my own there, given that in 2019, a YouGov survey found that the most common New Year's resolutions tend to be more exercise and improving fitness, losing weight and improving my diet. 24% of all respondents in the UK managed to keep their resolutions back in 2019. What 2021 resolutions have you made?
Cristiano Ronaldo has topped the list of players who've scored the most goals in Europe's top 5 leagues in 2020. The coronavirus pandemic has caused havoc across European football this year, making it an incredibly unique year. Despite that, one thing that remains the same is Ronaldo's dominance in the goal-scoring charts, managing to net 27 goals in Juventus this year. I may not be a footballer, but I'm not going to let COVID defeat my goals this year.
In September 2015, the United Nations adopted 17 global goals to end extreme poverty and build a better world by 2030. Those goals vary from things like taking urgent action to combat climate change, to making cities and settlements safe, inclusive and sustainable, to ending poverty in all its forms everywhere. Those sound like some pretty big goals to me. What do you think? Do you think we can do it?
Research released in January 2020 has found that there's a big gap between student career aspirations and the number of comparable jobs in the UK. It is most visible in the areas of art, culture, entertainment and sports. 5 times as many teenagers want to work in these fields compared with projected numbers of positions available. Even though bands can't gig as they used to, fortunately I managed to get a job last year in the music business. And hopefully our new band, Saints, will come into your school one day. What are you hoping to do in the future? And is there something that you could do that you haven't done yet?
Oh, nice one, Adam and Destiny. Let's find out from Lauren what the quote of the day is.
Michael Jordan, who is one of the biggest basketball players in the world, said this: "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and I've missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeeded." I love this quote because he is saying he didn't let his failures stop him, but it motivated him to keep going, to keep pressing forward to achieve that goal. Don't let your failures stop you, but instead let them motivate you to keep going.
You see, Michael Jordan wasn't the only one who succeeded from his failures. So check out this video that was created by Prince EA.
He was never offered a top Division I scholarship. Scouting reports said his explosiveness and athleticism was below standard. His first book was rejected by 27 different publishers. They said his material was too different and would never sell. He was 4 years old before he could speak and 7 before he could read. Teachers said he would never amount to much. Due to poor grades in high school, he was rejected 3 times by the University of Southern California School of Cinematic Arts. Her first book was denied 30 times. She was told repeatedly, "Sorry, that just wouldn't make a good book." He was fired from a newspaper for not being creative enough. They said he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. She was fired from her job after her boss told her that she was too emotional and just not fit for television. His teacher said he was hopeless and would never be a composer. He dropped out of college after 1 semester. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being removed from the company he started. They overcame many obstacles and many doubters and had the rare courage to create a life that was true to them.
Wow, how amazing were those stories of success. You may have heard the proverb that has been traced back to American educator Thomas H. Palmer and English novelist Frederick Marryat. If at first you don't succeed, try again. In other words, don't give up too easily. Persistence pays off in the end.
Achievements are great. They bring joy to your friends and family, and you should celebrate them. And they also provide tangible evidence for future employers and competitors and the wider world. However, they are also used to judge you as a person. The problem being is that you can get judged as being more or less successful than others, and we all know that comparison is a killer.
Emily Esfahani-Smith wrote an article in Quartz called "Psychology Shows It's a Big Mistake to Base Our Self-Worth on Our Professional Achievements." She said in her article that popular thinking holds that a person who went to Harvard is smarter and better than someone who attended Ohio State. That a father who stays at home with his kids is contributing less to society than a man who works at a Fortune 500 company. That a woman with 200 Instagram followers must be less valuable than a woman with 2 million. I think you get it. Emily spoke to many people who define their identity and self-worth by their educational and career achievements. When they succeeded, their lives felt meaningful and they were happy. But when they failed or struggled, the only thing that gave their lives value was gone. And so they fell into despair and became convinced that they were worthless.
All right, let's watch this inspirational video from Ben Lynott Scott, challenging us to make an impact.
When we're laying on our deathbed, you're not going to worry about how much money you had, how much power you had, how much prestige. You're going to see that that was all game, that was all an illusion. The only thing that's going to matter is the impact you had on other people's lives.
We are all on a separate journey. But the beautiful thing about our life here on this earth is at my funeral, they ain't going to talk about my success. They're going to talk about who Nick was and how Nick lived and how Nick loved and encouraged.
Success is incredibly important, but even more important than success It's having an impact. It's knowing you haven't walked the planet in vain. It's knowing that because you've been here, you've blessed lives, you've developed people, and you have made the world a better place.
The effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. Everything you gain in life will rot and fall apart, and all that will be left of you is what was in your heart.
Life is a mirror. And life gives us not what we want. Life gives us who we are. When you were born, you cried while the world rejoiced. Live your life in such a way that when you die, the world cries while you rejoice.
So let's recognize that our achievements can come in all shapes and sizes. Let's remember the small things and meaningful things we do, like helping an old lady across the road, giving money to a charity to enable them to change lives, encouraging a friend or sibling to believe in themselves and succeed. Let's work on our character and be great role models to others.
It's important that we also ask ourselves the question, where do we get our self-worth from? Don't get us wrong, we believe we should all have goals and enjoy our achievements, but maybe that's not the only place we should get our value from. Do you remember our episode on self-esteem? Maybe you should watch it again. But in a nutshell, surround yourselves with friends and family that love you for simply being you, encouraging you to be the best version of you possible.
Up next is my story, the part in the program where we hear someone's personal experience. Today we have our very own Emma Owen, who is the founder and manager for Respect Me, and she's going to share who she trusts when things go wrong in life.
Whoa! I remember the police coming into our high school encouraging us to become coppers through their cadet scheme. It wasn't really a hard sell. I was totally convinced that this was my vocation in life, and the dream quickly turned into a goal that I had to achieve. So I did my best revising my GCSEs, then out of the blue the announcement came that the police were no longer going to take 16-year-olds as cadets. My world crashed. What was I going to do for the next 2 years? I definitely didn't want to stay at school, so I followed my sister and got myself a job working for the Queen's Bank, Coots & Company. Quite posh, turned out quite good. I was getting paid loads of G's, it looked great on my CV, and I got comfortable. But it wasn't my dream. I still wanted to be a copper, and that was in the back of my mind, niggling at me. I still aspired to be that Bobby on the beat. Now, it might have taken me 7 years to get off my butt and get fit and pass my exams and the interview, but I made it. Goal achieved, back of the net. I did it. I was now a Met officer in London. However, my story doesn't finish there. Only 1 year into the job, one night duty, we had a further assistance call. Some fellow coppers were in a really bad situation and we were called to attend. So the driver of my car floored it at 90 miles an hour through a major junction on a red light. Crash. Unfortunately for me, he didn't see the Arctic lorry coming downhill from the left. It smashed into the side of my car and it took them 2 hours to cut me out. I spent the next 2 years in and out of hospitals and rehab centres. My dream was squashed. You see, they retired me on ill health because of my bad back and hip injury. So my question is, what do you do when you don't achieve your goal? Or like me, you achieve your goal, but it gets robbed from you? I have to be honest, I stressed out. I cried a lot. However, I'd been brought up as a Christian and I'd always been taught to trust God and that He had a plan for my life. It's easy to say trust God when everything's going okay, but I now had to grow up and put it into practice. I finally asked God to show me what He wanted me to do, rather than me tell Him what I wanted to do. Around the same time, my fiancé Tim got offered a job being a rapper in a Christian band in Manchester. Believe it or not, they offered me a job too, performing in the band.
They obviously recognised that I was a bit of a natural entertainer. You see, in the Bible and in Ephesians 3:20, it says God is able to do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine. To be honest with you, I never wanted to work for a Christian charity, but I'm here 23 years later, having been in a band, had a UK and an American recording contract. I've travelled the world sharing my faith to millions on stages and in schools, and I could never have dreamed how awesome that would have been. Yes, dream dreams. Have aspirations to be the best version of you possible. Have goals that you can achieve your dreams, but maybe, just maybe, ask God what His plan for your life might be, because it could be bigger than you could ever dream or imagine. My name is Emma Owen, and this is my story.
Nice one, Emma. As we said in the beginning, if you have any questions from this session, why not talk about it in your groups afterwards? Also, if your teacher or leader would like to extend this session, you can now access the questions that accompany this episode by following the link in the description on YouTube.
If you are personally struggling with any of the content today, please do think of an adult that you can trust, that you can talk to as soon as possible. Don't wait. There are many great websites and charities that we can signpost you to that can inform and support you moving forward. So why don't you check out some of these today? Kooth, Young Minds, Childline, the Lily Joe Project, and The Mix.
Don't forget, all the bands that you see on the message today are releasing new content on their socials every week. Every Friday night, all the Message Trust bands get together for one massive show called Higher Life. The band YouTube channels are on the screen, so why don't you check them out?
Sadly, it's the end of today's episode, but don't leave us just yet, as we're going to play you out with Dream Again from Brightline. We'll see you next week.